Welcome everyone, my name is Spidey, and yeah, today I'm gonna be doing a rare recruit tier list. I just finished recording my um, legend tier list like a couple hours ago. Now I'm gonna do a rare recruit tier list, and I still want to do some free-to-play ones like treasure map, Coliseum, raids, arenas, some of those, because my intention with these it's not only to talk about some of the units, um, but it's also to help out some newer players to the game to know which units are better to upgrade and which ones are better to just uh, upgrade only when you really need them, because you won't really use them either like at all or just one or two times, which is not that useful. So yeah, we'll start. We have a long way to go through. As you can see, it's like a lot of units, so I'm not going to be talking a lot about all of them. I'm going to be like very precise and quick, because my legend tier list took an hour and a half of video, and I still felt like I didn't say enough of what I wanted about some of the units, so this one is gonna have to be even quicker. So we're gonna start. We have like these old ones. We have these Zoro, like this Ace is, and this Robin are really good. This Zoro is somewhat usable. It can. It's not like it's that great of a support, but it can be useful. Sometimes I've used it like 2 or 3 times already. This Nami color affinity booster, as well as this Ace. We have like all of these are bad. You just don't need to worry about them. This Marco is not great. Neither is Jozu. Vista no. This ISO has a nice support effect. Blamenco no. This Hawkins has a, like, I'd say somewhat usable support, although it doesn't really see that much play. But it's not bad. It can be useful here and there. Instead, imagine like you want to guarantee yourself a conditional, but you don't need to bring a defense defense down. You can just bring him as a support and he will guarantee you that. Now we have this killer, is not great. Also, by the way, I might forget like what some unit does or something, or I might like wrongly put the unit or don't put the unit in the list. If I do that and you think that that unit deserves any consideration, and because I completely forgot about it, it's just so many characters to remember what everyone does, leave a comment down below and I'll see what I think. These Yuhug is not terrible. He supports. I use him a few times for treasure map buggy teams. This Bebo is nice. You are nice. You. This Drake, I'm pretty sure I use this Drake. He does like damage reduction, if I'm not wrong. He reduces damage by 50% when you use a special, so that's nice. That can be useful sometimes, you know. This badge is nice. No. Now we have some bad rare recruits. None of these are worth like keeping. This spell, I'd say it's very niche, because you will only use it as a captain for zombie teams, but even that you have like some other options. But yeah, just throwing out there that is a zombie captain that you can use. It's an option. None of these are good. You two I don't know. This Whitey Bay as a go-to support. I believe like none of you is actually good. So yeah, this Ivankov is nice. This Inazuma, I think I'm gonna have to, I am gonna put him either here or here. For now it's gonna be here. I've used him actually a good amount of times. He's not a terrible unit at all. This Kaku not so good anymore. Neither Khalifa. This Jabra is not terrible if you limit break expand him. He's actually like the best CP0 character. Yeah, CP9, sorry, is actually the best CP9 character of this batch, and so it's not a terrible unit. This Bruno, I don't really like him. Fukurokuju, no. Not really. You have an okay support. No. Good support. This Caesar, I can't really remember what he does. Let me just check out. I really can't remember. He poisons enemies and gives a 1.75 times attack boost for 3 turns for driven. So yeah, don't really bother. None of these units are actually like, yeah. This Sugar is niche, you can see some usage. None of these are good. Now about these ones, there are some like that are actually like usable in here, especially this Robin. She's niche, I'd say, but she can be used, yes. This Sanji is actually also not terrible, can see some play here and there. Apart from that, like none of these is actually anything special. This Usopp is not that great anymore. Most of these units are just like attack boosters and stuff. Even like this Sanji, should he really be up there though? Because like you can still see play here and there, but it's not like he's like that great. He basically is a two times attack booster for powerhouse units. I've used him like 1 or 2 times for guard challenge, especially the NL guard challenge, because he's a Sanji unit, so you can have pudding attached to him to get around the stun on final stage. It's not terrible for a rare recruit. None of these are actually good. These, I actually say like you can go there. This Viola is pretty niche. You basically only use her to farm berries, but nowadays it's just not even worth it farming berries that way. You can just farm Golden Pound Usopps and sell the Hime turtles. It's quicker and it's more efficient. None of you you are not terrible. You can be used in some niche circumstances. I've actually used this Diamante quite recently for the Arena Luffy. Don Chinchao is not terrible if you limit break expand him. If not, then just don't really bother. You are not bad. You can be used, yes. This Mancheri is not terrible as well. She can see some niche plays, but she's not great. None of you are great. This Dagama is not terrible. I can actually put him here. He gets around like 5 turns of paralysis and despair, and also does some damage, so you can have like law support attached to him. And he's a slasher and driven character, so because he's a driven and int character, you can see plays in some good teams. Elisabelle, it's niche. You use it to like speed up content. This Idaho, it's not good. No, none of you are. This Aruta can still see some play for like extra drops. This Atmos, I don't think it's terrible. Like if you limit break expand him, he's actually like a pretty solid unit and one of the best like older recruits that you could have if you limit break expand him. If not, then he's not that great. But usually, I think it's not a bad shot to limit break expand him. Speed Gill, no. None of these Straw Hats are good. You have a good support effect. You have some niche usage. Then we have the Blackbeard Pirates. Lafitte has a good support effect. Then none of these is actually good. Shiryu can see some niche play, especially for zombie teams, for brook teams. You can use him to clear stages by himself, so it's not bad. This Doku is also niche. The fact that you can have his special really quick, it's a plus. You can have a lot of stuff from him. This scope is terrible, but he has a goated support effect. He can get around the attack down. You all are bad. This Frankie, I'm not the biggest fan of him. This Nami, I think it's probably like, I'm not sure if S tier anymore at this point in the game, but at least an A tier. I'm gonna leave her here for now, and then we'll see if I bump her up. But she's definitely like goated. This Sanji is not terrible at all as well. Yeah, I think that can be a good place for him. And the same thing that you do with this Sanji, you do with the other Sanji. You take them for the Garb Challenge and L, and you take pudding support attached to them, so that's a nice effect. Now, this Chopper is not great, neither the Usopp. The Robin, I say it's niche, you can still see some play, I've used her a few times already. This Brook, like, I could put him on the niche because he's a zombie captain, and his special is not terrible. It's an attack boost for slashers, but not really that useful. This Chopper, I think it's good. Is not great if you don't limit break expand him. If you do, then he's actually a pretty solid unit, especially for the 13-star difficulty Garb challenge. He's one of the best units for that. Hyozo is bad. None of these units are good. This one is pretty niche. You can use him to speed farm because he reduces cooldown of your crew by 4 turns. So if you have double, you can get like -8 cooldown. Plus another boat, you get like -9 cooldown at the start of the quest. So you can use him as a captain to speed farm something. I wouldn't really advise it, but you can do it. None of this is good. Neptune, it's niche support, you only use him to farm XP. No, Vanderdecken is not good. No, none of these are great. This Peron is pretty niche, you can still see some play here and there. Nope. This Kanjuro as well is good if you have Odin. You can attach Odin support to him and use him on final stage. This Momo has a good support effect. This Kuma is actually pretty solid, probably like B or A tier. He can get around 14 turns of Despair and Bind, and he also has like one of the better supports. He can get around 5 turns of Despair with support. He also has a chance to knock out an enemy instantly, so he's really nice. I think I'd probably put him over here, but we'll have to see. Lucci is not great. This Croc has an okay support. No. This Pedro has a niche support, which is to get around stun. That's the only reason you would use him. No, this Kanjuro has a good support effect, and so does the Raizo. Luffy and Robin are not great. Usopp was an okay support effect, and Frankie as well. This Jinbe has support effects. This Ivankov is not great. Cannibal is an okay support effect. No. This Marigold, I would put like Marigold in here, Sandarthonia in here and Marigold in the support, because she was made to basically be Sandersonia's support, so you use her and Marigold as support for her, and you get basically a 2x conditional, and yeah, basically she becomes a self-proccing conditional for against defense down, so that's nice. Marguerite is not great. This Beppo has a god support effect. This Zoro is not great. These Sanji and Nami have an okay support. You two are not great. This Diamante is not terrible. I would actually like put him here. He's basically a nerfed Bobbin. No, not really. Like, all of these are not great. yeah, all of these are not great. I want honestly like the only one I would put in here is like this one. Reiju can be used sometimes. Those three, no. You have a good support effect, no. This Viola is not terrible, and if you limit break expand her, she is even better, so that's nice. You are not great. This Pika is not great, but it does give you G slots if that's what you need for the run. So yeah, that's not good. None of these are great. This Rebel is not terrible, and he has a very good support effect. Attaching to Sugar, you can get around Rainbow Shield and Threshold, if I'm not wrong, by 2 turns, so that's quite useful. All of these units, Koala has a good support effect, Nami as well. This Carrot can actually be used sometimes. This Shirahoshi is like godly tier. She's really good. She's the best one out of that batch. Marco is okay, can be used, yes. No. Kobe is not good. Hina, no. This Sengoku is good, yes. I would put him here. Brand new is not terrible, especially with expansion, but it's actually not a quite good unit. This Shobro is actually not terrible either. Carrot is not great. Brook can be used sometimes, yes. I guess this Pedro as well, like, can go to the niche. These dice, like, I don't really use these dice. I don't think I've ever used him. Yeah, there's not much to. There's not many usage for him nowadays. Whilst Bakra is very solid. Like, I'm not quite sure if she's S tier anymore at this point in time. She could like be an S tier because she can have a 2-0 support for a chain block. I'm gonna leave her here for now. Like I said, the tier list might have some changes after it's done, so yeah. No. This Karina has an okay support, no. She can see some play. Bobbin is an S tier unit, like, there's not much doubt about that. Oven, no. This Reiju is niche, and you are niche. You two, no. You have an okay support. Pudding is really good. I really like this Pudding. Now, you are not great. These Beckhams can see some play sometimes. These two are a little like peculiar units because they are not great, but they are not terrible. And if you like want to use them, you could use them. There's just not many reasons to do so. But they are usable, yes. But I'm not gonna put them there. You are terrible. This Strawberry is not terrible though. It can be used. Dr. Indigo I don't really like. I think this is Roddy, I think that's his name, so no. Now we are getting to some cool units. This Moody, I actually like this Moody. I think I would put her like in here. And I would actually like bump Diamante up. Then we have Perospero, which B tier is not like as godly as he once was, but he's still a really solid unit. This Cracker is not terrible either. This Daifuku is actually solid as well. I'm not sure if there, but here at least. We have this Aladdin, which is not terrible, but you mainly use him for his support on Praline. You take Praline and put her here, like I really use her all the time. She's really good. You are not good. You have a good support effect, and so do you. Like, his support effect is really good. Hers is somewhat usable. This Chiffon, she gets around a lot of stuff, but unfortunately only does it by 3 turns. But she does have a really cool support. It gives you like 20% healing of your cruise maximum HP, but it only attaches to beige, so that's something to consider. You are not great, neither is you. You are usable, I'd say. It's like this god is like this Inazuma. They are almost the same, but he does a few things. He does some things more. We have this Hein, which is one of my favorite rare recruits in the game. I really like her. This means is not great. The only thing he is great at is that he can allow you to, because he gives like 3 turns of ore boost. It can allow you to get around preemptives. That's the only reason you'd use him, because he's not that great. Stuff you know. This opera is not bad at all. He's actually pretty solid. Bavarois, it's not great. She can still see some play. This Flump has a good support and that's it. This Mondor is still pretty solid. I think I would put him here just because he only gets around the debuffs by 4 turns. If it were 5, he would definitely be like A or S, but for now it's a B. This Troyson is not terrible either. I would actually like rate him like around here, I think. This Idaho is not terrible either. You can still see some niche play, but I think I would put him here. Like it's not terrible. You can do different things, so that's nice. You are not great, my friend, nor you. No. Out of these ones, like again, Reiju is the only one that can see some niche play, and Yonji as well. The other ones are not great. Das Bones is not bad. He's actually a pretty solid unit. Then we have Yozo. Yozo is not bad at all, and if you limit break expand him, he's actually a pretty solid unit because he gets fear, so he has the ability to resist special bind every time, and to reduce special bind on your crew by 5 turns, so that's really good. Then we have Kaku, which is also an A tier unit. He was actually my first limit break expanded recruit, so that's cool. And we have Ryuma, which is not great. Luchikaku can still see some play. They are not that bad of a unit. Ivankov and Bone Clay I think are still like a very solid unit, probably A tier I'd say. It should not be up here, but for me yeah, it's a solid A, like there's no doubt about that. Tashigi Smoker and Robin and Crocodile, they are not great, like they can still see some usage here and there, but they are not great at all. If you limit break expand them though, they are not terrible units. This Velobet is not great. This Lindbergh is just pretty bland. It just gives you like Nor boost for free spirit. This Karazu, it's like goated, one of the best rare recruits in the game. This Scope is not bad at all. And you could limit break expand him, you don't really lose much because he gets like ship bind, so if you need a unit to get around ship bind, is a solid option for that. This Viola is like really good, especially like if you limit break expander. I don't know what they were on, what crack they were on when they made her limit break expansion, but with limit break expansion this Viola is just, she was already like really good and now she's like goated in terms of damage output. You can get attack boost like almost every turn. Her cooldown is like really small, and she has like double special activation and everything. She changes slots, she gives you an attack boost. It's really good. This one is not terrible. I think I put her here, and she has a really good port effect. This Chopper is not bad at all. I think I would leave him there for now. This Robin doesn't really see that much play, neither Brook. Zoro is not terrible. And then maybe I would have, yeah, no, I think here is fine. This Nami is really good. I probably put her either here or here. For now I'm gonna leave her here. She's a really good unit. This Frankie is not great. This Jack, Stampede Jack, is actually pretty solid, especially with expansion as well. He gets feeder, so he's a really cool unit for that. Hold'em is a very specific unit that you use in some very specific cases. Just like, what's her name? Speed. She is basically like niche, you use her to speed up your team. This Koala is not great, like none of these units are actually great. This Okiku is really cool. She is really good, especially with expansion as well. Most of these units that you're gonna see in here are worth expanding. Most of them, attention, I'm not saying every unit in here is worth expanding. Some only get like -1 cooldown, like Bakura for instance, or like this Nami, but some are really good options. We have this Tama, which has a nice support effect, but she is also like somewhat usable. I've used her like a couple times already. This Chopper is not terrible either. Maybe not in here, maybe in here. Like this Brook as well, same place. We have this Suzuhachi, which is easily like top 5 best recruits in the game. Fernosuke is not great. I'd say it's like really bottom of here, either here or here. I think I would even have to put him here. This carrot is not terrible at all. Alvida. This Alvida is an interesting one because if you look at what she does, she's actually really good. But then, like in game, a lot of times you won't really go for her. You will have some better options. But like, she's actually a pretty solid unit. And so I've used her actually like a good amount of times. I have like her limit break expanded, like completely rainbowed out, and she's actually like usable. This Tashigi, not really. Yeah, I don't really see that much usage for her. Jin Krieg, I think they are still like easily S tier. I use them all the time, just like this Usohachi and Hein. Like these are some of the units I use the most. So yeah, that's really cool. Then we have these Kuro and Django, which can still see some play, honestly. Like they are not terrible units at all. We have Crocodile, which I honestly think it's like B, maybe an A, arguably, but I'm gonna leave him here in the B tier. And then we have Stampede Buggy, which is an A tier. I actually really like this buggy, and is one of the most used units for the 13-star Garb challenge. We have this Ivankov, which is not terrible at all, especially upon limit break expansion. He gets Fear, if I'm not wrong, so he's actually a really good unit for that because he gets around Special Bind. We have Airclass, which can still see some play, but not really. This Kumi is terrible. This Boa, I might be a little bit biased. Like, technically you would have to put her like either here, I'd say, or here. I'm gonna put her here. Yeah, it's one of my most used units in the game. She now got an expansion, so she got Fear, so she can get around Special Bind anytime. She does Orb Manipulation, you know, she's a Boa unit, so she can have access to some okay supports. She's a cool unit, at least. This Law is actually like pretty solid. It's actually like a really good unit, if I'm being honest. Like, I might have... I didn't want to, but I might have to like bump Boa down, because I cannot put like Boa up there and Law in here. Although like this is one of my favorite rare recruits, like this Boa. I have to be fair, so yeah. This Law has like a good utility pack, just like her, you know, attack down and special bind, and here you have like despair and paralysis. He also does damage, he does Orb Manipulation. It's a really cool unit, it's a good pack. This NL, yeah, is pretty niche. He is good for Rumble, he's like one of the best rare recruits. Like, they made this NL so good for in teams for like no reason whatsoever. Yeah, he's a really cool unit for that. But like normal content, he's not really that used because he doesn't really do much. But he does do damage, so you can use him to get around stun, for instance. He does self damage, and he's also, because this NL was made this way because it was made to be used under Katakuri, V3 Katakuri, because it cuts your HP by like 70% if I'm not wrong, and Katakuri requires you to be 30% or below to get a 5 times captain and to get access to his super type, so he was made to be your HP, say like self HP cut, so that you can have access to the super type. Then we have this Doflamingo, which I actually like. 8-tier unit for some reason. Like he has double special activation, but he only gets around like two things by 2 turns. But with double special activation, it's 4. But it's actually like 4 turns of like defense up and threshold. But then you put this Barto support on him. Not Barto, sorry. This Bellamy support on him, and you can get access to. You can actually like get rid of 6 turns of those defensive effects. So that's really cool. We have this page 1 and Drake, which both have really good support for Kaido, although like it's normal play they don't really see that much play, but they are still like solid units. I think I would put them both here. We have this Luffy, which technically goes like there, but then like this Sabu needs to be below because it's not as good as Luffy. Their support effect is just terrible though, it's just stats. This Caesar, like this whole batch of rare recruits is pretty underwhelming. Like we got this batch of rare recruits which wasn't like that great. Then we had another one that wasn't really that great, like that was pretty underwhelming. But yeah, like this Caesar, it's like arguably the worst one of the 3. I'd probably put him like over here because he doesn't really see like any kind of play. This Bonnie is not terrible, she does see some play, and this Ivankov as well. I think I would have to go like this or maybe like this. This Bonnie is actually the best one out of the 3. Then we have, if we did have like 2 or 3, like arguably 3 underwhelming batches in here, then we had like the one that was one of the best, arguably like the one of the best very good batches we've had. We have these Rebecca and the Viola, which are both 8-tier units. They are really good, they get around a lot of stuff by a lot of turns, they give you like boosts, like big boosts. They are really really good units. And then we have like the shining star of the batch, which is still, in my opinion, the best rare recruit in the game. Like I don't think any unit is ever coming close. Like no unit has come close to this Robin so far, and I don't think they will make a unit, a rare recruit, like normal rare recruit, as good as her in still a long time. She gets around like a lot of, she gets around like Death Up, Threshold and Rainbow Shield by 5 turns. She gets around Despair by 5 turns. She does Orb Manipulation. Because she's a Robin unit, she can have access to Barto support. She can also have access to Mr. 1 and Mr. Bullfinger support, which basically makes this Robin like God's tier unit, because it basically allows you to get around like all those defensive effects that she gets around. Like she gets around 5 turns of Death Up and Threshold, 9 turns of Despair, 4 turns of Paralysis, does some Orb Manipulation, and also giving you a 0.75 times Chain Boost. Like that's absolutely crazy, the amount of stuff that you can get with it, and it's all like by huge numbers. And she's also a fighter unit and a Sai unit, so you can have some really cool supports with that. She's just like goated unit. She's my favorite unit in the game. She's my favorite rare recruit in the game and one of my favorite units. And I'm happy that it's a Robin character, because she's my favorite female character in the game, in the One Piece world. So yeah, that's really cool. Nami is a really cool unit. I honestly think she's like 8-tier worthy. I use her a lot. She recently got a Limit Break expansion, and she got Fear. I already have mine Rainbow, like she's really good. On the other hand, we have this Beige, which is not great. I could put him on the niche, but he's a little bit more than niche because he's like this Inazume and Gotti, but like with more stuff going on. It's just not that useful most of the times. This Boa, um, she's not bad, you know, she's not bad. I honestly put her here. She's not a bad unit at all. Same for Buggy. Like Buggy is not S tier worthy, but he's like, I think I'm gonna have to put him down here. But yeah, Buggy is a little bit more useful than Boa in a lot of scenarios. We have now an interesting one because when this tree came out, a lot of people were hyping up King, um, and King was actually like considered the best one out of the three, and the worst one, not the worst, but like the less useful one being this Jack. But as time went on, the one that actually sees the less play out of these three is actually King, and for that reason, it's not because he's a bad unit, but for that reason I think I have to put like King in here, and then Queen and Jack in here, because King, he gets around Special Bind, and he has Fear, which is really good, but the problem with King is that he basically only gets around Special Bind and he gets around Burn, which, like, Burn is not really that useful, and you actually, at this point, we have so many units that get around Special Bind that there's not really like much need for him. Like, if you need a Special Bind reducer with Fear, like that is Strength, you're probably gonna use like either this Buggy or this Boa. You very rarely will go for King, whilst Jack and Queen is a good unit for powerhouse teams, and he will also give you a chain lock on top of it, and Jack will give you a Nor boost and get around binded attack down. Like, this is a really good combo, the binded attack down, and you don't really see many units with it. Whilst Queen gets around defensive effects, gets around Death Up and Rainbow Shield, but like, if you want a powerhouse unit that does the same, you have like this Praline. She's also a powerhouse unit and she does the same thing, so you know what I mean. Like, it depends on the content itself, but like this Jack actually is like I'd say more useful unit in a lot of times than these two. This Neptune and Leo, like, it's a shame because like both of these units are not great at all. Like, they don't really see much play because they are not great. They could have done them so much better. Like, the fact that we have one of arguably like the best sub in the game on this banner, being V2 Shirasheri, and one of a really good unit being V2 Vivi Rebecca, and then like the rare recruits for that banner being like these two. It's really underwhelming. Now we have the Roger batch, Roger and Odin, Cat, Dog, Crocus and Rayleigh. I think like both Dog and Cat, like, they are not the best units, but they are not bad at all. The problem with them is that they like get around stuff by 4 turns, which is a bit of a shame. Crocus is a little bit down. Crocus is not that great as a sub. Like, he's a good sub and he allows you to overheal, but he doesn't do that much as a sub. But he has a really cool support effect. Gives you damage reduction, gets around burn if I'm not wrong, and also gives you healing. So that's a really cool combo for a support effect. Then we have Rayleigh. Rayleigh is a really cool one. Yes. He's like the one that I use the most out of these 4. But the problem is that they really screwed him over with his limit break expansion. He's like arguably one of the worst limit break expansions we've had in a long time for a rare recruit. But yeah, if they could have done this unit like so much better if they just did something different than a critical attack that it's not even like 100%. So yeah, it's really a shame. Then we have the Kamazo and Yukimaru. Again, an underwhelming batch of units. They don't really see usage, to be honest. Like, they are not that great units. It's a shame, you know. It's just a shame. They could have done so much better for this. Yeah, I don't know. Like, these units don't really get to see much, but I still think that they are like a little bit better than these two. Although this Leo actually has a really good support effect. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we have a really good set of characters. We have the Chozu, Luffy, Kuzan, and Sengoku, which were the rare recruits that came out with Ace versus Akainu. I still think that these units are really good. Like, I use Chozu a lot. Luffy is the one that I use the least, but he's a really cool unit. I'd say I'd probably put him here. Then we have the Kuzan, which I also use quite often, and the Sengoku. All of these units are really good, like just the same thing as like these set of rare recruits, like the Viola, Roek, and Boa and Robin. They are like that, but just yeah, they are just really good units for most of the content. Then again, we have some more underwhelming ones. This Avalo Pizarro, like I don't think I've even used him like ever. Like, this Avalo Pizarro is literally just like a copy of this Jack, but just worse, because he literally does the same thing. He gets around bind at attack down and does a 2 times orb boost, but he gets around 4 turns of bind and 4 of attack down, and gives a 2 times attack, 2 times orb boost for powerhouse and driven. And this Jack, also being a powerhouse and driven, he does get around 5 turns of bind and attack down, which is 1 more turn, which is better. And he also does a 2 times orb boost for your whole crew, like it's a rainbow orb boost. That's just better in every way. But he has an added effect that he will give you a threshold for your crew, because it was made to be used under V3 Blackbeard, so that that threshold would become an attack boost, so you would get an attack and orb boost, but like outside of using it Blackbeard, there's no use for it anywhere else. So yeah, I think I might have to put him there. There's just no use for him when you have Jack, you know, it's just there's no need. This Katarina Devon, it's a little bit better, but she's also like not that great, the same reason like Cat and Dog. She's not that great because she only gets around the debuffs by like 4 turns instead of 5. So yeah, that's a shame. Missed opportunity there, but okay. Then we have this Apu, which is not a terrible unit. It gets around 2 things by 5 turns. He gets around Bind and Rainbow Shield, if I'm not wrong, by 5 turns. He also does some healing and matching slots for 3 turns. The best effect of his kit is the matching slot for 3 turns. That's a really cool effect, but it's not that great. We also have this Hawkins, which is also the one that I've used the most out of this batch. I think he's a little bit better than them. I think I might have to put him like at the bottom of the B tier, maybe. He gets around more stuff, but he only gets around it by 3 turns. But he does get around some other stuff by 5. I've used him like a couple times already, especially for the Coliseum page 1, if I'm not wrong. I might be wrong, but I think that was it. He's a perfect unit for that, if you find a way of getting around 2 extra turns of threshold, because he gets around everything else. And now we have this X-Drake. He's actually like not great, but not bad, because he does get around paralysis, burn, and blindness by 3 turns. Remove as effects by 3 turns. But it does have special activation, so it does get around those by, in theory, 6 turns. But it's not really like debuffs that you really do need the 6-turn removal of. I don't. It's not like that. Those debuffs are that big. Like burn, you can a lot of times just completely ignore that you have burn and blindness if you are used to the characters. Like you don't really need to get around it. Or even with just like Mary, you get easier perfect. You don't need to worry about anything. Paralysis is nice though, but it also does color affinity that you can actually take advantage to get for multiple stages. But I still think that is the weakest one of the three. I don't have him. I cannot. Yeah. Then we have this killer, which like this batch is not terrible at all. We have this killer, which like I say it's the second. Some people will prefer killer over Zoro, others will prefer Zoro over killer. I personally think that Zoro is better than killer. I think that this Zoro is like really like A tier. Sorry, S tier. I just got him recently. He was the only one that I didn't have. And is actually a pretty good unit. Like he's better than the killer for not much, but a little bit. And this Jinbei, unfortunately, it's the worst one of the three, but that's not saying that he's a bad unit, because he's not. He's like lower on the A tier, or maybe yeah, maybe I would put him on the B tier. I've not used him that much. Definitely not as much as killer. So yeah, I think that's it. Then we have the Ben Beckmann, the Vista, and the Rockstar from the Whitebeard vs Shanks banner. He's like not great, but he's not bad at all. It does give you or manipulation, and he also does like bind reduction by 5 turns. But it does give you chain, if I'm not wrong, a chain lock, and he also has a nice effect. But the problem is the restrictions that it has, because it says that if you have 6 Psi units on your team, you will completely remove the defense down immunity. So that's a really cool effect, but it doesn't really see that much play because it's very specific, and it doesn't do that much. Whilst Vista and Rockstar are a little bit more like open. Like this Vista, he has double special activation, so that's nice. He does damage, and he also gets around Rainbow Shield and Threshold by 2, which means that it's technically by 4, and it gives you color affinity on the first time you use it, and if you have color affinity, it gives you Ore Boost. So like with him, you can get Ore Boost, color affinity, and get around some defensive effects. Because something else you can do is, because he does damage, you can have Halloween Law support on him. So you get on the first turn, you get around those defensive effects like by 2 turns, and you get color affinity and Ore Boost, and then you can get like on the following turn color affinity again, so that's nice. But he doesn't really see that much play, I feel. I personally don't really use him that much, but he's still definitely better than Ben Beckmann. And then we have Rockstar, which is like, it goes from like 8 to 80, whilst Ben Beckmann is not that great, and Vista is not that useful or used, let's say. This Rockstar is actually like an S tier unit. Is actually like one of the best rare recruits we've had in a bit. I think like this Rockstar is on the same level as like that Zoro, not on the same level as Robin though. I don't think that's a unit coming close. I think the unit that comes the closest to Robin is actually like Suzuhachi, but even he doesn't like, it's not on the same level as her. Now we have like some interesting ones. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to talk about these three, nor these two, nor these two, and nor these two, because technically they are not like rare recruits. They are treasure map limited rare recruits. You can just like you cannot get them on any other banner other than treasure map ones. It's just like Kizuna units. You can only get them on Kizuna banners. These are treasure map units that you can only get on treasure map banners. So I'm not gonna put them on the list, but I'm still gonna put all the others. We have Kanjuro and Orochi. Like these two units are just a meme. Like these two units are terrible. Um, I'm actually not even going to put them on the list. There's no need for these units to even exist in the game, to be honest. And they went through great lengths to make this Kanjuro usable. Only once, which was on their treasure map. Because apart from that, yeah, these units are terrible. They don't see play. There's no need to use them because they don't do anything that is like even common on normal plays. So yeah, just honestly, I don't really like those units. Now we have this Blackbeard and this Koala. Um, these units are actually like pretty good. I actually really like them. I don't have, where are they? I don't have the Koala yet. I only have the Blackbeard, but they are really solid units. They get around some stuff. They give some nice boosts. One gives color affinity, the other one gives a chain boost. Yeah, they are actually like pretty solid. I actually really want to find some more usage for them because they are pretty solid. The same thing with like these Kaku and these Tus. Like I might actually have to like put them down here because I actually like these Kaku and these Tus are actually like really good units. I really like them. They are one of my favorite like rare recruits that we got recently. And I think they work together like really well. And I'm actually really happy with both these batches of rare recruits because there are some like disappointing rare recruits that we got recently, but these ones they really nailed it. Then we have these Sasaki, which I probably put him like here on the C tier, or maybe yeah. Black Maria I'd honestly put on the A tier. She's a really cool rare recruit. Sasaki, yeah, Sasaki on the B tier, and then Who's Who. I honestly still think that it's the weakest of the three. I think this way it's nice. Um, then we have the Shirahoshi and the Bonnie, which are like actually pretty good rare recruits. I have just not yet found like that big of a reason to actually use them, but I really want to use them more. This Caesar is actually like not bad at all. I actually like him. He has some utility and also gives you a chain boundary effect, which is nice. And this Hode is on the same level. It doesn't get around as much stuff, but he still does give you a good boost. And then we have like these two treasure map ones. These Momo and Sobames, honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of them. I think they are both like D tier. I don't really like. I'm not the biggest fan of them. I don't really see that much usage for them, other than like the event they were made for and the arena. But apart from that, not really. This Shanks and Buggy is not that bad. They only get around paralysis by 4 turns, which may seem like it's a bad thing, but it's actually not that bad because they get around another one as their crew effect, which is goated, like getting around paralysis with sailor abilities. It's really good, so they technically get around 5 turns of it. So I actually find that to be like a really cool effect. And then we have the Shanks and the Rayleigh and Gaban, which I think it's probably like it's better than the Rayleigh, the Shanks one. The Rayleigh and Gaban is better than the Shanks and the Buggy one, but it's still not S tier worthy. But yeah, this batch is actually not terrible. And yeah, that way we can complete the A tier. And then we have this Rhodey and BB and the 3 Musketeers, which honestly I'm not really sure how I feel about them. They are not like terrible units at all. The problem is that most of the times, outside of like using them with cat and dog, they won't really see that much play. I think I'm gonna have to put them both in like B tier. They like, I don't know which one is which, but I know that one gets around almost like the same thing as him, but does give you a chain boost and gives you minus cooldown. Like the fact that you can get so much cooldown reduction with them, it's actually like the biggest thing for them. So yeah, I think that's gotta be it. These two are treasure map as well, and yeah, I think I'm not gonna change much about this list. I think it's fine the way it is. If you find something that you think should be different, don't forget to tell me. And now I'm just gonna scroll over through the list so that you guys can see. And yeah, if you jumped over to the final and you don't see the unit in here, it means that I probably don't find them that great, or I just completely forgot. So yeah, and yeah, that's it guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and with that I'll see you guys on the next time.